Why your nervous system determines how well you age. Aging is not just wear and tear. When most people think about aging, they think about visible things. They think about muscle loss, joint pain, weight gain, slower movement, lower energy, more health problems. And of course, those things matter, but there is another system underneath all of them. A system that quietly influences how you move, how you recover, how you sleep, how clearly you think, and how well your body adapts to stress over time. That system is your nervous system. And if you do not understand it, you can do many things right and still feel like something is off. Recovery may still feel slow. Sleep may still feel shallow. Energy may still feel unstable. Motivation may still come and go for no clear reason. That is because aging is not just about what is happening to the body structurally. It is also about the condition of the control system running the body every day. And that is where the nervous system becomes so important. Because after 60, health is not only about strength, it is about regulation. It is about how well the body can shift out of stress, return to calm, and recover from ordinary life. And many people are not struggling because they are doing too little. They are struggling because their system is carrying more background stress than they realize. Part 1. Your body is always responding. Your body is never neutral. Even when you are sitting still, even when you think nothing is happening, your nervous system is constantly assessing, adjusting, and responding. It is scanning for signals. Is this safe? Is this stressful? Do I need to prepare for action? Or can I rest, digest, repair, and recover? This process is largely managed by the autonomic nervous system. That includes two major branches: the sympathetic nervous system, which prepares the body for action, alertness, and survival, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps the body rest, repair, digest, and recover. You need both. Sympathetic activation is not bad. It helps you get up, move, respond, focus, and adapt. Parasympathetic regulation is also not just relaxation. It is the biology of repair. It supports digestion, immune balance, recovery, tissue repair, calmer breathing, more stable heart rhythms, better sleep quality. Healthy aging depends on flexibility between these two states. The body should be able to activate when needed and then come back down efficiently. That flexibility is part of resilience, and resilience is one of the deepest markers of how well someone is aging. Part 2. The hidden cost of staying slightly activated. Many people are not in full panic mode. They are not obviously stressed all day, but they are also not deeply regulated. They are living in a low-grade activated state, a little rushed, a little tight, a little restless, a little tired, a little wired. This can show up in subtle ways: tight shoulders, a clenched jaw, shallow breathing, difficulty relaxing, sleep that does not feel fully restorative, feeling tired but unable to fully settle, getting overwhelmed more easily than before. This state is easy to normalize because it does not always look dramatic, but physiologically it matters. Because when the body spends too much time in low-level activation, it diverts resources away from repair. The body becomes better at bracing than restoring. And over time, that has consequences. Recovery slows. Sleep becomes lighter. Inflammation can rise. Energy becomes more fragile. Mood becomes less steady. Pain feels louder. Setbacks feel bigger. And many people interpret this as just aging. But sometimes it is not age itself. Sometimes it is accumulated nervous system load. Part 3. The vagus nerve and the biology of calm. At the center of this conversation is something called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is one of the most important communication pathways in the body. It connects the brain with the heart, lungs, digestive system, and other major organs. It helps regulate breathing, heart rate, digestion, and aspects of immune function. When vagal function is healthy, the body tends to shift more effectively into recovery. Breathing becomes more efficient. Heart rhythms become more adaptable. Digestion works better. The body is more capable of coming down from stress. This is often described as having stronger vagal tone. Now, vagal tone is not a magic word. It simply refers to how effectively that recovery system is functioning. And here is where aging enters the picture. As people get older, vagal tone often declines. Heart rate variability tends to decrease. Stress recovery can take longer. The body may become more reactive to smaller stresses. This does not mean something is broken. It means the margin for stress becomes smaller. Things that once rolled off the body now linger longer. Poor sleep hits harder. Emotional stress sticks around longer. Dehydration affects energy more quickly. Overexertion takes more recovery time. So after 60, protecting the nervous system becomes part of protecting longevity. Part 4. Heart rate variability, a window into resilience. One of the most useful markers of nervous system health is heart rate variability, often called HRV. HRV measures the small variation in time between heartbeats. A healthy heart does not beat like a machine. It is adaptable. It speeds up and slows down slightly based on the body's needs. Higher HRV is generally associated with better adaptability, stronger recovery capacity, and greater resilience. Lower HRV is often associated with chronic stress load, reduced flexibility, poorer recovery, and higher physiological strain. Research has linked lower HRV with cardiovascular risk, inflammation, and less resilient nervous system function. Your draft specifically highlights HRV as one of the clearest indicators of nervous system health and connects lower HRV with stress load, cognitive decline, and inflammation. Now, HRV is not the whole story, but it gives us a useful insight. Healthy aging is not just about output, it is about adaptability. Can the body respond and recover? Can it tolerate stress and then come back to baseline? Can it remain flexible under ordinary life demands? That ability matters more than most people realize, because a body that cannot recover well starts to age under pressure. Part 5. Why the nervous system changes how you move. The nervous system does not just influence feelings, it influences movement directly. When the system is dysregulated, the body often becomes more guarded. Muscles tighten more easily. Balance becomes more rigid. Breathing becomes shallower. Reaction time may slow. Coordination becomes less fluid. Effort feels higher. This is why some people feel older, not simply because they are weaker, but because they are carrying too much internal tension. The body is working harder to feel safe, and that extra work changes everything. Walking feels less natural. Turning feels less smooth. Posture feels harder to maintain. Ordinary tasks feel strangely tiring. On the other hand, when the nervous system is more regulated, movement becomes more efficient. Muscles engage when needed and relax when not needed. Breathing supports motion instead of fighting it. Balance feels steadier. Effort goes down. That is why movement and nervous system health can never really be separated. The quality of movement depends partly on the quality of the signals driving it. Part 6. What actually helps regulate the system? The good news is that the nervous system responds to relatively simple signals. Not always dramatic ones, simple ones. Research and clinical observation both support a few repeated themes. Slow breathing helps lengthen the exhale and shift the body toward parasympathetic activity. Rhythmic movement, such as walking, can stabilize nervous system signaling. Predictable routines reduce cognitive strain and uncertainty. Social connection can signal safety. Better posture can improve breathing mechanics and reduce unnecessary stress load. These are not flashy interventions, but they work with the body rather than against it. That matters because after 60, the system often responds better to consistency than intensity. It responds better to regular, calm inputs than occasional heroic efforts. And this is where many people go wrong. They try to outwork a dysregulated system. More exercise, more goals, more stimulation, more effort. But when the nervous system is overloaded, even healthy inputs can become too much. So regulation is not about doing nothing. It is about doing what the body can actually absorb. Part 7. Calm is not passive. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking calm is passive, as if calm means laziness, weakness, withdrawal, a lack of ambition. But biologically, calm is not passive at all. Calm is what allows healing. Calm is what allows repair. Calm is what allows the body to digest, rebuild, and restore. Calm improves sleep architecture. Calm supports immune balance. Calm lowers unnecessary muscular tension. Calm makes recovery more available. So when we say the nervous system determines how well you age, we are not saying you should avoid challenge. We are saying challenge only works well when it is balanced by recovery. The body needs both stimulation and restoration. But with age, recovery becomes more precious. And what is precious should be protected. Calm is a skill. After 60, health is not just about what you do. It is about how your body responds to what you do. The nervous system helps determine how well you recover, how well you move, how clearly you think, how deeply you sleep, and how resilient you feel under ordinary life stress. That is why calm is not something to wait for. It is something to practice. Not once in a while, not only on vacation, not only when life becomes easy, but regularly. Because a more regulated nervous system does not just make you feel better in the moment, it changes the terrain the body is aging on, and that matters. If you want, comment calm, and I'll share a simple daily nervous system reset you can use without overwhelm. And in the next episode, we'll explore the hidden link between calm, posture, and confidence, and how they are more connected than most people realize. Until then, stay re-inspired.
I hope this video brought you value and re-inspired you. If so, please subscribe, hit like, and leave a comment. And if anybody you know could use a little re-inspiration, please send it to them. Thank you so much for watching.